Hello class, we are continuing with chapter 7, evaluating expressions, and today's lesson is on 7.2, grouping symbols. So grouping symbols, we can use other symbols other than parentheses in an expression. We can use brackets, we can use braces, and we can also use a bar. And all of these symbols groups an operation with different integers together. So we have 8 plus 4 in parentheses. It means the same thing if it's in brackets. It means the same thing if it's in braces. And if there is a bar over or under it, it also means that it is being grouped. Okay, so we have 8 plus 4 in these parentheses and these other symbols, the braces and the brackets. So you will evaluate what is in these symbols first. And 8 plus 4 is 12, and over here we have 9 minus 7 in parentheses, in braces, or in brackets, and then in braces. So you want to subtract what is in those symbols first, 9 minus 7, and get 2. And you can't forget the symbol here, the minus sign. You're going to put it in between, and 12 minus 2 equals 10. So different grouping symbols can be used in the same expression. You are going to see parentheses, brackets, braces in the same expression to evaluate. Okay, so for example, we have braces here, 8 plus 4, surrounding 8 plus 4, and then in brackets we have 9 minus 7, and we evaluate what is within the braces and brackets. So then we get 12 minus 2, which equals 10. When grouping symbols appear within other grouping symbols, you want to evaluate the inner grouping first. So here we have a set of parentheses and a set of brackets. You are first going to evaluate what is inside of the parentheses. So you are going to find 2 minus 7. And you know that 2 minus 7 is negative 5. Okay, I'm going to continue to keep the parentheses around this answer, negative 5. I'm going to rewrite everything. I'm going to bring down this minus sign and the 3 and the bracket and the subtraction sign and the 10. So now we need to evaluate what is within the brackets. So we have 3 minus a negative 5. You know with the subtraction rules, we change the operation sign to a plus. We change the sign of the second number. So this now becomes 3 plus 5. To remind yourself that this is what needs to be evaluated next, you want to keep the brackets. Rewrite your problem. 3 plus 5 equals 8. Now that you have solved what is within the brackets, you can take the brackets off. 10 minus 8 equals 2. Here we have an example of a fraction. We've got this fraction bar. Negative 4 plus negative 2 on the top, and then 8 minus 5 on the bottom. This fraction bar can also be used as a grouping symbol because it is grouping the negative 4 plus the negative 2. It is grouping the 8 minus 5. So you will evaluate this. A negative 4 plus a negative 2 equals negative 6. And then 8 minus 5 is positive 3. So you'll continue this problem. You will divide. Remember, this also means division. This bar can also mean division. So negative 6 divided by 3 will equal a negative 2. Okay, so if we have a square root, it can also be used as a symbol for grouping. So here we have the square root of 13 squared minus 12 squared. 13 squared, I'm going to keep my square root and solve this. 13 squared is 169. 12 squared is 144. I'm going to subtract this and keep my square root of 25. And the square root of 25 is 5. And that would be my answer for this expression. A word of caution when you are working with square roots. You don't want to separate your 13 squared and your 12 squared into two separate square root problems, okay? Because this will become the square root of 169. I'll write it over here. The square root of 169 minus the square root of 144. So this would become 13 minus 12, which equals 1. And this isn't the same thing. So in general, the square root of a plus b does not equal the square root of a plus the square root of b. And the same, the square root of a minus b is not the same thing as the square root of a minus the square root of b. So here we have three different symbols. Remember, you evaluate what is in the innermost first. So what I can see first is this 3 minus a negative 2. So I'm going to change, this is a subtraction problem with different sign numbers. So I'm going to change this subtraction to an addition. I am going to change the sign of this second number to a positive. So this now becomes 3 plus 2, which is 5. So I have now solved what is within this bracket. I'm going to rewrite my problem, and I'm going to put the braces on just as it is in the problem. All right, so now I want to solve what's within the braces, which is 9 minus 5, which is 4. I'm going to keep the brace, okay, and then rewrite my problem. Okay, now the next thing we need to solve is what is right outside of this brace. Okay, if you have a number right outside of a parentheses, a bracket, or a brace, this means to multiply. Okay, right here, that means to multiply. So we're going to multiply 2 times 4, which is 8. And then I'm going to rewrite my problem. 5 minus 8 equals negative 3. Okay, all right, looking forward to seeing you in the next lesson. Thank you.